Good morning. Welcome to the Miami Culinary Institute. My name is John Richards. I'm the director of the Miami Culinary Institute. We're here to listen to somebody else. I always like to tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. And I have not met Peggy before, but I love what she's doing because she is changing the world as well for the better, I think. Kitchen Cures revolutionize your health with foods that heal, makes the simple connection between food and how you look and feel. Whether you have low energy, excess belly fat, or are suffering from conditions triggered by inflammation, Kitchen Cures shows you how to nutrient dense foods are the answer. She is a registered holistic nutritionist, health educator, and culinary consultant. She travels extensively across the country as a spokesperson for Vega and is the host of the television show Peggy K's Kitchen Cure. Well, maybe I'll just introduce to you, and please put your hands together, Peggy Kotsopoulos.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out this morning. I wasn't sure, 11 o'clock, food demo in the morning. I should have served brunch, but I wasn't thinking. I didn't know what time my demo was going to be at. But as it was mentioned, I'm a nutritionist and I'm a foodie. I grew up in the restaurant business. I'm Greek. I grew up in a Greek household, so my life revolved around food. My family had a restaurant, so I grew up in the kitchen my entire life. And I was always from a very young age aware of how food made me feel. So if I knew if I had a bag of chips in the morning, I would feel lethargic, or not in the morning, any time of the day, but I would feel lethargic and my face would feel really greasy. And you know what 5-year-old wants a greasy complexion? Whereas if I had a pint of strawberries, I would feel energized and my face would tingle and I felt really good. So I always gravitated towards healthier natural ingredients. So I'd always take key staple recipes and always change them to make them healthier. And so this is why it's just a passion of mine, and it became a passion. I have a cooking show called Peggy K's Kitchen Cures, and I have a book called Kitchen Cures, and I'm going to demo some recipes from the book. Now, the book is mostly nutrition content, and every chapter is on a different ailment. So whether it's stress, if you're really stressed out, if you're looking to improve your complexion, if you're looking to boost your libido, if you have heart conditions, if you have diabetes, if you have joint pain, I have a chapter on every single ailment, and you go to that chapter and it tells you the key nutrients your body needs and the top foods that'll help you get out of your funk no matter what you're feeling. So it's like a go-to reference guide. So if you wake up one day with a headache and say, I don't know what to do, go to that chapter and it'll tell you what to do through food. So I'm a firm believer in what you are, what you eat. And food is functional. Food can be medicinal. Food, I mean, there is a culinary journey to it and the experience that we have. And I love food. I always say I'm a foodie first. But there are so many ingredients that we can use and whole food ingredients that are so delicious and so simple, but they're so powerful in terms of the impact it can have on your body and on your overall health. So my whole philosophy is you don't have to give up your favorite things. All you have to do is make simple swaps that can, you know, kind of give you that experience that you want with food that can also make you feel amazing overall because there's no excuse to not feel your best every single day. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through a few recipes. So I'm going to be making a golden beet ravioli. And I'm going to be making a kale salad with avocado and hemp seeds and tomatoes. And it's a wilted kale salad. I'm going to be doing some quinoa cookies. So they're chocolate chip quinoa cookies, which are absolutely delicious. And I am going to be making a smoothie, a banana fig smoothie that you can have for breakfast or any time of the day as a snack. So I'll start with the ravioli. Instead of pasta, now a lot of times people try to avoid pasta because it is a refined carb, and it can cause, a muffin top. So the reason why we tend to have a muffin top is because two reasons. One, number one, stress. If we're stressed out, it'll store as belly fat. It'll manifest as belly fat and sugars or refined carbs. So, white pastas, even whole wheat pastas, can be more simple and refined. So I'm not even using pasta altogether. What I'm using is golden beets. So what we did was we took golden beets and we used a mandolin and we sliced them really, really thinly, and we marinated them in extra virgin olive oil and sea salt. So what that does is it actually breaks it down, so it makes it pliable, like almost like a pasta. So it gives you kind of the pasta feel to it. So it's almost like a cooked beet, but it's not cooked. And so you're getting all the nutritional benefits from it. And what's great about beets, especially golden beets is really great for your skin, really high in beta carotene, which is good for your heart and good for your skin. It can actually prevent free radical damage and UV damage from the sun. So it actually helps to build up your body's own sunscreen and sun protection. So beets are amazing. So we just marinated them a little bit. So this is going to be, see how they are? It's like our pasta noodles. So it becomes very pliable and very thin. So that becomes our ravioli. So I'm going to put one on the plate here. And then for the filling, so instead of the cheese or the ricotta that we put in there, which is fine, I do ravioli, or this type of ravioli, I call it, with cheese all the time. But what I actually use, because sometimes we eat with our eyes, is a white bean puree. So instead of the cheese, it just kind of gives you that feeling. It's really high in fiber, which is going to satiate hunger. It's gonna keep you fuller longer. And what it does is we just blended it up and we added some Kalamata olives blended to it and extra virgin olive oil. So the Kalamata olives are going to give you the saltiness, also really good for your heart, also really good for your skin, for your hair. It gives you that shiny glow inside out. So you just mix extra virgin olive oil, some white bean puree, and you have a little filling. So this is what we're going to use as our filling. And it's just delicious. And then I'm just going to take my other beet, put it right on top, like our ravioli, our filling. I'm just going to get some tomato sauce that we made in the recipes in my book. So just a very simple sauce. Put it right on top, just like that. And we have fresh basil. And you see that? A beautiful little ravioli. So that's that. And I think we're going to be passing those around. So you can sample that. Actually, the beans are cooked. The only thing in this dish that was cooked are the tomato sauce and the white beans. So it's not completely raw, but and the thing is with the tomato sauce as well, tomatoes, you will actually want to cook the tomatoes because the lycopene, which is a powerful, powerful antioxidant, becomes activated by cooking it. So it's actually better to cook tomatoes than it is to eat it raw, definitely. Now I'm going to actually move on to our kale salad. Kale, it's gotten so much hype lately. It's been around for so long, and most people, I guess, used it as garnish for, when I used to work in investments before I actually went into food and nutrition. I spent 7 years in investment banking because I don't know, my family was just like, oh no, don't go into the restaurant business, don't go into food, like just get a normal job. And so I became an investment banker, and 7 years into it, I was like, what am I doing? I love food. So I left that world and came here. And everyone used to make fun of me at the office because I would like pick off the kale from the sandwich trays that would come in the meetings, and there was like kale as garnish, and they're like, Peggy, are you eating the garnish again? And I'd be like, well, there needs to be a salad made out of this. So, I mean, it's just so great. It's really high in calcium. It's really high in chlorophyll. Chlorophyll helps to boost your energy. So if you're looking for an energy boost, kale or any type of leafy green, like Swiss chard, has the same nutritional benefits as kale in terms of the amount of chlorophyll it has, the amount of vitamins and minerals it has. It's great for your bones. Like this right here is so amazing for bone health and has so many benefits. So the thing is with kale, in order to neutralize actually to absorb the nutrients, you want to have it cooked. Like steamed is the best. And if you're not going to cook it because we're having it in a salad, you want to make sure that you break down the cellular wall, because when you eat it raw, just like broccoli, you want to make sure you lightly steam broccoli to break down the cellular wall so your body can absorb the nutrients in it. So a way that we're going to do it without cooking it is we're going to add some lemon juice here. So the acid in the lemon juice will actually break through the kale and the sea salt. And then you want to give it a really good massage, because by massaging it and getting in there, you're going to actually really break down the kale, so it'll kind of start to wilt, so it'll look like a wilted kale salad. But that's the best way to do it. So kale is part of the cruciferous vegetable family, so broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts. Now these are great for any type of breast cancer, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, because it has a compound called indole 3-carbinol that converts bad estrogen into a weaker, more beneficial form. So it's really, really healthy for that. So it's really beneficial. And it's really great for women who tend to store weight in their like butt and thigh area. I call it buttocks, like that area. It actually helps with weight loss there, because typically when we gain weight in that area, it's an estrogen dominance, so it helps with that. So what I'm adding is some avocado to this. And I'm going to put my gloves on because you really need to work this salad just to really break it down. Go. So you just kind of really want to work it in. And what the avocado does, I'm just putting in the avocado whole, and you can just kind of break it into the salad. So it becomes like it's adding fat to the salad. So instead of adding an olive oil or any other type of oil. We're adding the avocado and mixed with the lemon juice and the sea salt. And it makes it a creamy sauce. So it's almost like a creamy salad dressing that you can just work right in there. But as you can see, like just by massaging it, see how it's already broken down and wilted? Just the acid from the lemon juice and the sea salt does that. So hemp seeds that I'm going to add to the salad as well. Anyone have hemp seeds before? Anyone try hemp seeds? So hemp seeds are really a great source of plant-based protein, really high in protein, really high in fiber, and really high in chlorophyll. So again, you're getting that chlorophyll that you get from the greens in the hemp seeds as well. And it's particularly high in gamma-linolenic acid, which is an essential fatty acid that is really beneficial for reducing inflammation in your body. So if you have any kind of joint pain, or if you exercise a lot, or you have muscle inflammation or any type of inflammation, it helps to really reduce that. And then I'm going to add some tomatoes and some cayenne pepper to give it heat, and some kelp granules. Anyone have kelp granules before? So kelp is a sea vegetable, and it is really high in iodine. So it's really good if you have an underactive thyroid or your metabolism is a little bit sluggish. It'll actually help to boost your metabolism. And it's really high in iron. So again, it'll boost your energy levels. And it comes from the sea. So I call it sea pepper because it looks like pepper but tastes like salt. So instead of like sea salt, it's like sea pepper. But you can use it as a salt substitute. So if you're adding kelp, you can reduce the amount of salt that you're actually adding to your diet. So this right here is our kale salad. Again, really energy boosting, so nutrient dense. It's really high in protein because of the hemp seeds. You're getting the healthy fats from the avocado. Again, avocado is really great for heart health, really good for your skin as well. Gives you that inside out like moisture and hydrates your skin. So it's really, really beneficial. So this is a really nutrient dense dish. Yeah. You have to add some sort of acid will help with it. So the lemon juice will work. But even, yeah, you would want a little bit of acid. So a little, if you want to use vinegar, but I just find lemon juice works really great. And the sea salt helps to break it down as well. A little bit of sea salt. Yeah. So moving on, I'm going to move on. Yep. Hemp. HEMP. Yeah. So can you see them here? Do you want to? Is there a close-up little camera that you can see? Yeah, you'll find it in health food stores, like Whole Foods will have it, any health food store will have it. A lot of regular grocery stores are carrying it now. It comes in a package. You can sprinkle it. It has almost like, well, you'll taste it in your salad, but it has almost like a creamy, nutty kind of taste to it. And but it's very smooth, so it works well in cereals in the morning, oatmeal, your yogurts, salads. You can sprinkle it on a sandwich or in a wrap if you're making for lunch. So it's just a tiny little seed that has such a strong nutritional punch, and a little bit goes a long way. So you can add it to your smoothies. You can add it to anything because it's really, really easy to blend into stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you want to make sure that it's hulled because it's what you want is the inside. You don't need the outer layer of the skin. So make sure you get the hulled hemp seeds. Yeah, versus the unhulled will be black, and you can't digest it. So you want to make sure that they're hulled for sure. Any questions on that? No? Okay, so I'm moving on to my quinoa cookies. So this recipe here is gluten-free. Actually, all the recipes that we're making are gluten-free. And it is probably one of my favorite recipes because if anyone doesn't like to eat healthy, this is something that'll get them to eat healthy because either they won't even know what's good for them. I used to do school-based wellness programs, and I made these for kids at the school, and they would inhale them all the time. So this is like a staple recipe that everyone loves. I made them on the Today Show once, and I was with Matt Lauer, and I didn't know he didn't like coconut, and there's coconut in the recipe, but he ate the cookie and he even liked it. Considering he doesn't even like coconut. So what I'm using as a base of this recipe are bananas. So I have, for one batch of cookies, it's typically 5 ripe bananas. So you want to use really ripe bananas. You mash it up. And what the bananas do is they act as a binding agent, and they act as a sweetener. So you can cut down the amount of sugar that you're adding. And bananas are really energy boosting and stress busting as well because they're really high in B vitamins, which are your energy boosting and stress busting vitamins. But it's just great to add as a binding agent. Some people add applesauce to cookies and stuff. I just love bananas just because I love the flavor of them. But it works really well in this recipe. So these are the banana quinoa chocolate chip cookies. So we just have some banana in a bowl. And I'm going to add some quinoa. So this is just 1 cup of whole quinoa. So it's cooked quinoa. And quinoa is a pseudo grain. So it's not really a grain. It just looks like a grain, cooks like a grain, tastes like a grain, so we call it a grain. But it's really a seed. So that's why it's gluten-free, and it's really high in protein. So it's one of the highest sources of protein when it comes to grains. It has your complex carbohydrates in there. It has zinc in there. It has so many nutritional benefits. But again, it's completely gluten-free, so I'm adding the whole quinoa in there. Now I'm adding 100% pure oats to this as well. You can add quinoa flakes. They have quinoa flakes that you can get that looks like an oatmeal type thing, like rolled oats, that I use in the recipe too sometimes. This time we're just using oats. And I'm using some coconut. So 1 cup of quinoa, 1 cup of oats, 1 cup of coconut. And you want to use unsweetened coconut because I find it's just naturally sweet on its own. And then to add sweetness, we're adding some vanilla to this. And some coconut sugar. Anyone try coconut sugar before? Yeah, you did. Okay, so coconut sugar is probably one of my favorite sugars to bake with. So it kind of looks like a brown sugar, but it doesn't come from the coconut. It comes from the coconut, the palm flower that grows on the coconut tree. And what they do is they cut a little slit in it and collect the sap. So it's almost like a maple syrup or how it's processed. And then they just dry it out and crystallize it. But it tastes like a burnt caramel. So the top of a creme brulee, it has like that burnt caramel kind of taste. That's what it tastes like. It's so good. But what's great about it is it's very, very low glycemic. So something like a white sugar or a maple syrup or honey, it's higher in the glycemic index. And what that means is it converts to sugar immediately in your body. And so you get those spikes and dips and spikes and dips. And so you'll crash right away. The coconut sugar is very low glycemic, so it's comparable to eating an apple on the impact it has on your blood sugar level. So that's the same type of impact it'll have on your blood sugar level. Very, very low. Plus, it has all the minerals intact. It has zinc intact. It has potassium. It has magnesium. So at least it's adding minerals to your body, which typically sugars and refined sugars deplete minerals from your body. So any way you can add a natural sweetener, it's great, and it is a one-to-one substitute for any type of sugar. So that's why I find it the best in recipes, because it just gives it such a great flavor, but it's an easy swap. So instead of the 1 cup of regular sugar, just use coconut sugar. Guarantee you'll fall in love with it. Now, I am adding chocolate chips to this because it is a chocolate chip. The recipe is in my book and on my website as well, peggyk.com. So I'm adding some chocolate chips to this. Now, it's so funny. So this recipe, before I added the chocolate chips, this was my breakfast cereal once upon a time. Like, I used to eat this for breakfast. It's just like oats and quinoa and banana and coconut, and I would eat that for breakfast every day. And I was like, this is really, like, I loved it. And so you can eat it right out of the bowl, obviously. And then I was like, what will happen if I drop it on cookie sheets and make cookies, as a breakfast to go kind of thing? And I was like, oh my gosh, it works. So, and then with the chocolate chips, it just adds, it makes it more cookie-like. So it's almost like, it's gonna be more. It's not gonna be like a crunchy cookie that you typically have. It's gonna be more like a muffin top. Like I would call it it's like the anti-muffin top cookie, because it can actually help to shrink your muffin top instead of contribute to it. So all you have to do is just drop it on cookie sheets, like that. And then you just bake it in the oven. It's going to take longer to bake than regular cookies because there's no refined butters and sugars and flours in there at all. Notice we didn't add any flour to this dish at all, no butter. So there's actually no fat in this recipe. Sometimes I add a tablespoon of almond butter just because it does add an additional layer of flavor that you get through the fats. But this recipe is actually completely fat-free. You want to do 350 for 25 minutes. It's going to take longer to cook, so around 25 to 30 minutes. It's going to be softer until it kind of gets crispy on the outside, golden on the outside, but it'll still be soft on the inside. So like I said, like a muffin top kind of consistency. So we have that being passed around. So I'm doing a smoothie. Now, this smoothie is really high in calcium. Now, when it comes to bone health, everyone thinks that you just need calcium, and that is not the only thing you need. When it comes to bone health, calcium only works if you have equal amounts of magnesium and vitamin D. Like, you need to have like the three of them together in order for calcium to be metabolized in your body. Vitamin K is also really important to actually help bring calcium from your blood into your bones. So that's why that kale salad is really good, because it's high in vitamin K, which can actually deliver the calcium. But so many times, everyone takes a calcium supplement, or they're trying to eat all these calcium-rich foods, and if they don't have the magnesium, it's actually very unhealthy for your body. It's really unhealthy for your heart. It can build, plaque in your arteries. So you kind of want to really make sure that you're incorporating more magnesium, which comes from plant-based foods. Now, it's kind of like your heartbeat, like it's like, love dub, or yin yang, like the two kind of work together. So you want to always make sure that you're having magnesium. So instead of regular milk here, I'm using almond milk. I always find it's just a little bit easier for your body to digest an almond milk than a dairy milk. And then you want to make sure if you are doing a dairy cow's milk that it's hormone free, just because there's so many anything, antibiotics and hormones and stuff that's being passed to the animal is getting passed on to you. So I just find like an almond milk or a coconut milk that you can get, like So Delicious has a coconut milk, and it's really so delicious. And it's low in calories as well, so you can just add that to your diet, to the blender. And normally I do like an unsweetened vanilla. So this is only like 30 calories per serving, but the vanilla gives it the nice sweetness to it. So typically when you just do a regular almond milk or coconut milk, they tend to add more sugar. So if you do the unsweetened but a vanilla, you just kind of get, a little bit more sweetness and flavor. So I'm just going to add almond milk to this. Ooh. I'm making a lot here for you guys. Oops, I probably put too much. And I'm going to add some bananas. Actually, I'm going to put some gloves on for this. Can I get gloves? And help with, thanks. I think I poured too much milk in this. I'm going to pour some out because I have to blend in the other ingredients. Can I just get a little something to pour that into? Anyone do smoothies for breakfast at all? Yeah. I do them every morning. And it's just so easy. It's an easy way to pack in all your nutrients. So I'm going to add bananas. I usually like to get, when bananas are ripe, I hardly ever eat bananas in the state. I always wait till they get, like the little dark spots, and then I peel them and I freeze them, and I throw them into my smoothies, just because it's like ice cream that you're adding to it. Or what I'll do is I'll just blend frozen bananas and make ice cream out of it. You can actually throw in some yacon syrup. Anyone try yacon syrup before? So yacon syrup is, it comes from the tuberous root vegetable, kind of like a sweet potato. It looks like a sweet potato. And it is safe for diabetics. It's very expensive. It's like $20 for a little bottle. But it has a molassesy kind of taste. But it has no impact on your blood sugar level because it's basically a prebiotic fiber. It's mostly made up of fructooligosaccharides, which is a prebiotic fiber that kind of passes through your body and actually helps to take sugars with it. So there was a study done on premenopausal women that supplemented with yacon syrup every single day, and their waist circumference shrunk, their body mass index declined, and they all lost weight. Yeah, it's yacon, Y-A-C-O-N, syrup. So yeah, I always peel them first. So I'm adding bananas to here. I'm adding some figs. Figs are an amazing source of calcium as well. So really great for your bones. So I'm just gonna add some figs to here. Now you can use fresh figs. If you do get dried figs, what I do is I hydrate them so they become more plump. Just to soak them in water for a little bit, just so that you can rehydrate them. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of almond butter. Again, almond butter, really high in calcium in your healthy fats, and it gives it a nice creaminess. Now, if you wanted to make almond milk at home, a really simple thing you can do is just add almond butter with water to a blender, blend it up, and you have instant almond milk. That's that simple. So you don't have to worry about like soaking your nuts and blending them and straining them through a cheesecloth. You just get almond butter and water and blend it up, and you have instant almond milk. Now, I'm going to add, you can do this on its own as it is with just the bananas. The recipe in my book is just the bananas, almond milk, almond butter, and figs. So yacon syrup comes from a yacon root vegetable that you can't really find to buy it in your grocery store. It comes and grows in South America. It grows in Peru, I believe. And they extract the syrup from it. So just like, when you bake a sweet potato and then the syrup kind of comes out. So that's what it's like. It comes from the yacon root, which is like a tuberous root. And it comes in a little type of bottle. Again, like I said, very expensive. But it's great for diabetics. It's great for weight loss. It's great for so many different things. It's very expensive. So a little bit goes a long way. So you can use it in like your tea in the morning if you wanted, or a little bit in your oatmeal, or a little bit in your smoothie, and that's all you would need. But if you just needed something as a sweetener to add, but if you're baking or something, I would use coconut sugar. But again, the coconut sugar has, it's a little bit more, it does impact your blood sugar levels. It's very low, but it still impacts your blood sugar levels. So if you're diabetic, I would avoid any type of sugar that does anything like that. But anyone tried this before? Vega 1? Did you like it? So this is, okay, so this is Vega 1. Can you see the label? So what it is actually I do it every morning. I've been doing it every morning for like 10 years. So what it is, it's actually an all-in-one nutritional supplement. So it has your vitamins, your minerals. It has all plant-based protein. So it has your hemp seeds in there. It has chia seeds in there. It has savvy seeds in there. It has pea protein, brown rice protein, your hemp protein. So it's all plant-based protein. It has really high in antioxidants. So again, it'll prevent free radical damage in your body. It has all your greens in there. So it has broccoli, kale, sprouts, chlorella. It has maca, which helps with hormonal balancing. So it basically replaces 10 different supplements. It has probiotics and digestive enzymes. So it replaces 10 different supplements in one, and it's completely plant-based. So I just find it an easy way to get your nutrition in a day when you're in a rush on the go. And the vanilla, the French vanilla, I'm sorry, not the French, yeah, the French vanilla, they have a vanilla chai as well, which is really good, but the French vanilla is one of my favorite flavors. But even just that on its own with almond milk and frozen strawberries tastes like a strawberry like shortcake. It's so good. It has 15 grams of protein per serving. So I'm going to put this in a pitcher. So again, this is super high in calcium, and it's really energy boosting, and it packs such a great nutritional punch. You can add kale to it. Yeah, you can add kale to it. You can add anything to it, really. Like sometimes I just do frozen berries and kale and the Vega 1. But this has so much greens in it. The Vega 1 already has chlorella, which is one of the highest plant-based sources of chlorophyll. Has kale, has broccoli. What else does it have in there? It has spinach, alfalfa grass, kale. Anything else? No? Okay, so I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out this morning. It was fun. As I mentioned, I'll just be right outside. If you had any more questions, you can come and chat with me, and I'm doing a book signing as well.
This program is brought to you by Miami Culinary Institute at Miami-Dade College. For more information about the schools and the Culinarium program, please visit www.miamidadeculinary.com or call 305-237-3276.